Hello guys, so as I promised to some of you that I will make a testimony video, it actually took quite a while to actually get myself to sit in the seat and start recording, but yeah, here we are now. And yeah, I just wanted to share a bit about my story that I had in Korea. Yeah, so actually everything started for 1 week before that. I was in Glanov, also in a summer camp related to my religion. And yeah, I had a very good time there. I had a very good prayers, very good connection to God. And before coming to Korea, I thought that it's gonna be a very good preparation for Korea, and I felt like it went really well. And I was going with this strong spirit to Korea. And so yeah, our flight was good. Everything went well. We arrived in Korea at around 5 p.m. I don't remember clearly, maybe even later. And yeah, until we arrived to the place where we would stay at for those 21 days, it was around midnight at that point. And yeah, so we set our stuff there and put everything in the lockers and our luggage in the luggage area and so on. And then we went to sleep. So we were one of the first people there. There weren't a lot of people when we came. And yeah, we went to sleep, and maybe 5 or 10 minutes went by after I laid in the, well, not a bed. We had like two thin mattresses there, and maybe 10 minutes went by. Because I was tired, I fell asleep quickly, and I just felt someone grab me out of my body and started to just throw me around like this. And after like 10 seconds of that, I woke up. I was like quite shocked because, well, I wasn't expecting that. And yeah, and because I went into this center of our church that is very sacred and holy, and just this happened. So it was quite weird, but because similar things happened before in my life, I wasn't quite too shocked. So I just went on with my sleep. I went back to sleep. Then I had a good sleep and woke up the next day. Then all the other participants started to arrive, and yeah, the camp kind of began to start. And first they showed us a bit around, and we went through there's in the training center in Cheongpyeong, there's like these trees that are like holy trees. And there's one tree, is the tree of love. Maybe I'll put up some pictures while I speak when I'm editing this video. And yeah, so there's a tree of love that is in the bottom area, basically of the because the whole thing there is built like on a mountain almost. So everything like goes up and up. So on the bottom, let's say, section, we have the tree of love. So every morning I would start my day like this. I would go down. There's this prayer room. I would go to the prayer room. I would pray. Then I would go to the tree of love. I would pray. Then I would go up, around 500 meters up the hill, and you would have the tree of heart there. I would pray again. Then tree of all things. Then pray. Tree of loyalty. Pray. Those tree of heart, tree of all things, and tree of loyalty are very close to each other. And then there's like another 500-meter walk, maybe more, to go to the tree of blessing that is on the highest point of the mountain there. If you saw my pictures on Instagram, you would see the pictures that were taken of the palaces and the view of the lake. They were taken from there. You can even see on the first picture the tablet that has written on it like tree of blessing. So yeah, and basically I would have my prayer there. Then the first week I would just go down after that and go eat breakfast. On the second week I would also go down, and then if you turn right, well, it's hard to explain for those who haven't been there, but there's another tree called Hyojong tree. And after the first week I would go also there and pray there, and then go back to the prayer room and again pray there, and then I would go to breakfast. But that was from the second week to the third week. For the first week I just went to the blessing, and then I would go back down. yeah, and basically, for the first 3 days of the workshop, it was really hard for me to connect for prayer, even though when I was in Glanov, like 1 week before, I had very good prayers, very emotional prayers. I could really connect through prayer to God and to true parents. But there, when I was there for the first 3 days, it was very hard to pray. It felt like I had some wall, something blocking me, from praying. So it went on like that, but I still, continued all those 3 days, continued through my morning routine. Oh, basically, I don't know if I mentioned this. I did the walking around the trees in the morning. I would wake up at 6:30, and then I would go for all the things as I explained. And yeah, and even though on the first days I was praying, but I didn't feel anything, I still continued. And on the fourth day, on that day, I had a breakthrough. So first I went through the tree of love, and so on. As I went up, 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 and up, I started feeling this, this sensations and these feelings coming up in myself. Then, as I already went to the highest one, the tree of blessing, there I just finally I could let everything out, and I could connect to God and to the spirit world. And I had a very good and deep prayer with a lot of tears, and it was quite long too. But one thing that was good, because there were two Lithuanians there, and so I could freely just pray in Lithuanian, and no one would understand what I'm saying, because it's not like I'm the only one going to those trees. It's constantly people are going. So there's like a big rotation of people there. So yeah, but because I spoke in my own language, so I could calmly pray out loud. Because when you pray without like speaking, just in your head, it's not the same, at least for me. So yeah, because I could pray loudly and pray in my language, I didn't need to really worry about people understanding what I'm praying about. So I could just freely pray and connect. So after that fourth day, really good connection. Sorry, I'm gonna read a bit of my notes because I don't want to get carried away through the stories. Okay, mention that. Yeah. So second thing that happened there on the first days, we also had this thing called Chanyang. So for those people who are listening that are not in my church, almost everything that I'm gonna talk about is gonna be a bit confusing. But yeah, basically Chanyang, in summary, is we are singing a song while clapping, and at certain points we would start hitting ourselves, not hard, but just like symbolically hitting ourselves as a means of liberating spirits from our bodies. So what was interesting, that the first also 3 days, from the first day I would start feeling like a strong pain in my tricep area, first on my left arm, and then it started multiplying to my right arm, and then my both arms were hurting so much. It was very uncomfortable pain and strong pain. So, and especially it would come before Chanyang. But after I would do it, it would kind of, weaken, but I would still feel the pain. And throughout the day, it would come back, then go away, then come back, and so on. And then we had at first, our Chanyangs were just in our European workshop, like 120 people, and then some Japanese workshop. It was like 60 people. So there weren't many of us, and they would just play a video of that, music, and we would sing along with it. And on the fourth day, we had I think it was the fourth day. Sorry if I'm mixing up the days, but yeah, we had a Chanyang in a big hall with a lot of people, and with a live team. There was a person that was doing the drums, people that were singing, so everything was live, and wasn't a recording that we went along with. So on that day, also before that Chanyang, my triceps started hurting again, and while we were doing it, because there was like so much energy, because there were so many people and the live Chanyang team and so on, I got really into it, and I started hearing screams of a female somewhere, and it was quite weird. I started like feeling this at first I didn't know if it was like an actual person screaming or it was something that only I am hearing, but at least it felt to me like it's something that is happening to me. So I was clapping, I was doing the Chanyang, and after that Chanyang, or also within that Chanyang, I was, while hitting my arms, I would start feeling some like energy going away from my body. It was, yeah, also very weird sensations. And after that Chanyang, my arms were completely fine. After that, the pain didn't come back. And yeah, that was like quite, an interesting experience. And then I asked people if they heard like anyone screaming, and at least everyone I asked, they didn't hear anything. So yeah, that was also quite, in the same point, it was quite scary, but also quite, interesting that these like things are happening. Yeah, and then we just had a lot of divine principle lectures, and then lectures about the life course of true parents, which was actually very interesting for me, especially because we got to hear a lot of stories that we didn't knew before. And the main like point of those lectures were to I don't know what's the exact word I need to use, like humanize or make us look at true parents more as of not only some aliens or some perfect human beings, but also like people, like humans that also want to be happy, also have doubts, also have struggles, and also had to build a relationship with God. They weren't just born with a straight up relationship with God and so on. They also had to build things, and also had to went through, I mean, we knew that they struggled a lot, but also in a sense where they struggled to connect to God sometimes and so on. I mean, all those stories were very, at least, impactful for me, because it is then easier to relate to them. Yeah, and yeah, so that was like 4 or 5 days of lectures about True Parents Life course, and then we went on a pilgrimage. First we went to DMZ. It's like basically it's in the middle between North and South Korea, the demilitarized zone, where you basically spend time. And we went there. It was quite interesting. And after that we went back. Then we went to Paju, which is the graveyard of the True Children's True Children's graves, basically, where Hyojinim and Hyungjinim, sorry if I'm saying those names wrong, Korean. So yeah, we went to their graves and we prayed there. Had actually very good prayers there too. Then after that, I think we didn't go back. We went straight to Seoul. And also, before I talk about Seoul, what I didn't mention, throughout all those days, like from the first day to this day, I was always having like negative dreams. Either sorry, there's a plane flying. Either there's some war happening, or either someone is trying to kill me, or just trying to do something negative, always trying to hurt me or something, always something, yeah, negative dreams. Of course, throughout the days, because the days were very positive and very high spirited, I didn't really affect me too much. But just the mornings were a bit like shaky, because I would always wake up with this heavy head because of the dreams I was having. Yeah, so yeah, where I finished. Okay, going to Seoul. So as we went to Seoul, we stayed there in a sauna. Basically, in Korea, there's this thing where you can stay in a sauna, which isn't just a sauna, it's also like a jacuzzi and so on. It's like quite a big place, where boys and girls are separated, and then boys go to their sauna, girls go to their sauna, and after they spend time there, they can go to this one united room where we would get like these pajamas, a t-shirt and shorts, and then we would wear them, and we would go into that room where everyone can be together and sleep basically through the night. And it costs like 10 euro or something like that. It's pretty cheap. So, but as we went there, I already felt some kind of a negative energy in that sauna area, but I didn't pay too much attention to it. So after we went through all that sauna experience, we went to sleep, and then in the middle of the night, like at 4 or 3 a.m., I woke up, and then boom, out of nowhere, my left leg's calf cramped super hard, like it never cramped before. I mean, the only time my muscle cramped before was when I was like maybe 14. Also, my leg cramped, but usually that doesn't happen to me. And it cramped super hard. It was so painful. I mean, everyone was sleeping there. I wanted to scream so bad, but because I'm a good human being, I didn't scream so they wouldn't have to wake up. And yeah, I just held it in. Then somehow it relaxed, and then okay, I tried to go back to sleep, and I fell asleep quite quickly, and instantly I entered in a dream. And in that dream, I was at the same place. I was laying on the ground, like sleeping where I was, and I just saw a black snake. It was like coming towards people's feet. And as it was coming towards people's feet, I just woke up again. And then once again, I'm quite shocked of what's happening. Then okay, I just decided I'll go back to sleep. I tried to fall asleep again, and boom, I went into sleep paralysis. Maybe some of you already know this sleep paralysis thing, but basically this is when you're basically paralyzed. You try to move, but you can't move. And again, I got scared. I could open my eyes. I was like in the same sleeping area. I was trying to move. I couldn't. But maybe 10 seconds after me trying to, move, I woke up. And yeah, again, I was like, come on, what is happening? I don't know if I want to go to sleep again. But then I decided to, okay, I'll try to fall asleep again. Then I fell asleep, and then luckily nothing bad happened after that. So yeah, and with this we went I think after this we went a bit around Seoul, and then we went back home. And also what I didn't mention, so as we throughout that program, when we were in the training center, we had this also, one of the program was vigil prayer, which is basically prayer from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. And what we would do for the first 2 hours, we would just have reports and testimonies, and then after 2 hours we would have one hour of prayer. But it's not just prayer. It would be one person, or one representative person prays, then we would sing a song, then another representative person prays, then we would sing a song, and then we would have a unison prayer where everyone just prays at the same time loudly and so on. But usually it wouldn't end at 1 a.m. It would end like around 1:30. So we would go to sleep at around 1:50 or 2 a.m. And basically you would realize if we go back to sleep at 2 a.m., then I wake up at 6:30 to go through the trees and so on. I would basically sleep only 4 or 5 hours every day. But for some reason, I never felt tired. I always felt like I had a lot of energy. I think it's like some spiritual thing because, I think people that invest a lot when they're there, they get a lot of help from the spiritual. At least that's what I believe. Yeah, and where I left off. So we went back from Seoul, and we went straight to the vigil prayer because we came quite late at night. So went for the vigil prayer, and after the vigil prayer, they already told us before that we would, the next day we would have to go to Busan. So for that we would have to wake up at 5 a.m. To leave from there early, because Busan is basically on another, almost the furthest away you can get from Seoul. It's on the other side of Korea. So, but because I didn't want to break my routine, I decided that I will wake up at 3:30. So I slept like 1 hour and 30 minutes. I woke up, I started going through the trees. The prayer room was locked, so I couldn't go there, so I went to the tree of love, then up. And as I went up, I already felt this very strong spiritual energy. It was at first it was fear. I started feeling fear because of the energy I was feeling, but then I decided I'm not going back down. I'm just gonna go up. I'm gonna go pray for those trees. And as I was going, I started feeling the strong spirit and so on. I was praying one tree, another tree, next tree. Then after that, there's because those tree of heart and so on, those trees are quite close. Then you have a long path to go, maybe 10-15 minutes to the tree of blessing. And I was going to the tree of blessing again with this determination. And yeah, as I was going, maybe 20 meters were left, and everything that is up uphill. All the time it's uphill, uphill, uphill. So maybe, yeah, 20 meters were left, and as I was going, I just stopped and I looked to my left, and I just saw I don't know how it's called in English, a colibri. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. At least in Lithuania it sounds something like that. A colibri, basically the bird that can fly in one spot without no moving anywhere. Just it's floating in midair in one spot. So yeah, this bird came to me and it just started flying in midair without moving its wings only, but staying in one place, and it was just directly looking at me, and I was looking at him, and he just did that for 10 seconds. Then he started to fly around in circles and just went away. Well, that was quite confusing, but okay, I just went along up the hill to finish to go to my destination. And as I went up on the tree, on the top of the hill where the tree of blessing is, as I took my first steps, I looked left and I saw that bird. It came again, and it started again flying midair and just looking at me while it's midair for another 5 or 6 seconds. Then it started doing the circles again, and it just went away. I don't know how to interpret that. What was it trying to tell me? I mean, I just took it as a cool thing that God showed me, or the Spirit world showed me. So, I mean, after that kind of thing happens to you, it's just very easy to pray. So I just sat down and I started praying, and it was again a very good prayer where I could connect to God in the Spirit world. And yeah, and after that we went to Busan. We went on the bus, and as we sat on the bus, because everyone had to wake up at 5 a.m. and everyone was tired, and basically everyone went to sleep. So I decided, okay, I will go to sleep too. As I went to sleep, boom, I'm in a dream. Again, some war happening, and someone just started to push their fingers in my stomach. It was very sharp pain I was feeling, and I was trying to pull those arms away from my body, but because it was so painful, it was hard for me to move my own arms. But I could slowly move them. Then I would pull those fingers away and I would wake up. Okay, because I was still tired, I went back to sleep, and same dream happened again. Someone put their fingers in my well, if I would show, it's like this, squeezing them, and it was sharp pain. And then again I'm trying to pull it out, but because it's so painful, my arms are very slow for some reason, and slowly I'm pulling them out. Then I pull out and I wake up again. Then I was debating, should I go back to sleep or no? I thought, okay, I'm still quite tired, I'll just go to sleep, hopefully nothing bad happens. So I went to sleep again, and then the same thing didn't happen, but just I was in a war. Again, negative dreams, almost every night. Either something painful or just something negative. So yeah, that went along, and finally we arrived at Busan. We had a good time there. Visited the place where True Father first started the movement, where the legendary small house was built. Small house, I don't know, maybe I'll put up a picture to more to explain it better, so on. And yeah, so we were there, we had a good time. Then after that we went to Cheongpyeong resort, which is a resort owned, actually, I didn't know that, but it's owned by our church. And actually 2016 Olympics, I think, were held there. And yeah, it's a ski resort, very tall mountain, actually very beautiful place. And yeah, so we stayed for the night, we stayed there. And yeah, as we went to bed, as we went to go to sleep, I had a dream again. Just as I went to sleep, I had a dream where I was walking in the hotel. I went to a room, I sat on the bed, and throughout that time I was hearing this noise zzz. And as I sat on the bed, it started getting louder. I saw I have some headphones on my here, and I just decided, okay, I will put them on. Maybe the sound will get better and I won't hear it. So but as I put them on, it became even more loud, and it was starting getting louder and louder and louder, and then my whole body like started to tense up from the like extreme noise, and then I felt that my heart will explode, or it will, you know, burst out, or it will stop beating. I don't know, but I just felt like something is happening to my heart, and I will die. And with that, you know, I woke up and I just screamed like ah, and I looked around and everyone was still awake. So that's why I understood that it was only, you know, maybe 5-10 minutes after I laid on the bed. So again, no, very weird things happening, and yeah, then I went back to sleep. Then after that, nothing happened. But yeah, then we went. I think after that we went straight back to the training center. So our pilgrimage was only 4 days out of the 21 days. So yeah, so we went back. We had the vigil prayer, and I don't remember if it was that vigil prayer or the next day's vigil prayer. I had a thought that maybe, you know, those negative dreams. Before I thought that it was just the spirit world, you know, trying to demotivate me, trying to ruin my experience and so on, but like outer spirit world. But after, like in that vigil prayer, I had a thought maybe that's not spirits that are somewhere around. Maybe that's bad spirits in me that are trying to make themselves known, so I could, you know, understand that it's them trying to tell me that they want to be liberated, they want to be, you know, freed. So at that vigil prayer, I just decided to pray for them, and after that, no more nightmares, no more bad dreams, no more negative dreams. So also like a very interesting experience, and yeah. So after that, we had a meeting with Yonanim, which is Hyojinim's wife, basically the elder son that died, the musician. And yeah, we had a meeting with her. She was a very kind person, very positive, she had very good energy. I don't know how to explain it, but she was just you could feel that she's such a good person. We had a good talk with her. She maybe just share a little bit of something she said. Basically, 3 days after that, we were scheduled to meet True Mother, or 3 or 2 days. I don't clearly remember, but yeah. And basically, she told us that True Mother, even now, she's already preparing to meet us. She's already walking around the place where she will meet us. She's making sure everything is good, everything is okay. So already there, I felt like True Mother is preparing for us, and felt really nice. And yeah, so that went by. After that, we went. I don't remember actually. Was it before we met Yonanim or after we met Yonanim? We went to the Cheongpyeong Palace. Basically, I'll show it in a picture. Maybe I'll put up. It's basically one of the palaces that are in my pictures, like the one that is the highest one. Yeah. So I'll show it in the picture. So yeah, we went there for a tour, not to meet True Mother first, but just for a tour. And yeah, so we went there. I was on the first bus, and as we came there, I asked the tour guide if we're gonna meet, if True Mother is here now, and if we can meet her, just basically see her somewhere walking, And she said no, she's away, but she's coming back after 2-3 hours, and she said maybe you will meet her. So with that thought, I went to the prayer room there, and I prayed that we could meet her. And yeah, so another backstory before that, there was before we went there, I asked the person that is one of the responsible people from the workshop, I asked if there's going to be any souvenir shops there, and he said no. So I didn't take any money. But when we came there was a souvenir shop there, and I didn't have any money. So I couldn't buy anything, but I still wanted to buy something, so I just decided I will ask someone to lend me some money later. But so first I just went around the museum and so on, seeing the pictures, and sorry. And yeah, and we took a picture, and then they said, okay, now it's time to leave. So I was supposed to be on the first bus, but because I still didn't buy any souvenirs, and one of my friends that also was from Lithuania, we traveled together. He also didn't buy any souvenirs, and he really wanted to buy something. I'm more of a person that is, okay, I didn't buy it, it's my problem, I should go back with my bus. But he was like, no, we need to, I really want to buy something. So I said, okay, then let's just go together. So we went together to buy something, and we went there. There's no one there, no one that can sell us something. So we're waiting there. I was looking for someone who can quickly sell me the stuff, because I thought maybe I'll still be able to make it in time for the first bus. We're standing there waiting. Then finally someone came. I bought the thing I wanted quickly. I started going. Sorry, it stopped recording for some reason. Coming back to my story. I left off. Oh yeah, buying souvenirs. So I bought the souvenirs. Then I quickly, went back started going back for the bus. As I went out of the palace, I saw my bus already leaving. And I said, well, I can't do anything now, so I'll just stay for the next bus. And that only could have happened because some people from second and third group, they went into the bus of the first group. So yeah, and maybe 5-10 minutes went by. One responsible person of the workshop came to us and said, prepare, the True Mother is coming after 5-10 minutes, True Mother is coming. And I was like, now it makes sense. And so we stood there. True Mother came. She opened the window. We were all standing in line, waving and smiling and saying Korean things to her, like we love you and so on. And she was waving back. She was looking at us, smiling. But one thing I did feel, though, that when looking at her, that she was very tired and exhausted, because also what we heard before from Yonanim, that she's only sleeping like 3 hours every day. She's going to sleep very late and waking up very early. Her schedule is really, really tight, and she's doing a lot of things. So I could really see that, tiredness in her. It was still very pleasant that we could meet her, but also I felt this, empathy and, sadness, a bit of sadness for her, that, she's already 80 years old and she's doing all these, hard things. So but still, I was happy that I could meet her. Then we went back, and then after a couple of days, we went to actually meet her. And so usually True Mother, when she meets second gen, usually it's basically she would invite them on the stairs. Basically, when you enter the palace, you would have stairs there, and she would invite them to stand on the stairs. They would maybe sing some songs they prepared, and then she would give like a 5-10 minute speech, and that would be it, and take a picture of them, and that would be it. But for us, she invited us to a very not just luxurious, but like a beautiful room that had like very beautiful paintings, and it felt really luxurious. And we basically had tables set up like this. I'll try to show, like 2 tables like this, 2 tables here, 2 tables here, like a line, basically 2 tables here, 2 tables here, and then in the middle it was True Mother, not in the middle of our tables, but further away from us. It was True Mother sitting there, and basically we were like this, and True Mother was there, because we had like the tables there, because we ate afterwards. So first True Mother came. She was smiling, waving at us, told us that she misses us, and then she began to speak. And overall, like in total, she spoke for 50 minutes or around 1 hour, which is very unusual, because usually when she speaks for maximum 20 minutes. 20 minutes, that's already a very long speech from her. And we got a 50-minute speech, which was very uncommon. At first, I didn't really realize it, because the whole time I was just I was sitting like this, because, well, as you realize, the tables were like this, our chairs were like this, so I just turned my body and I was, looking like this. Also, I was very lucky because I got to sit quite close to her. I was maybe 5 seats or 4 seats away from her, which was like 3 meters. So I was quite close, and all the time I was just looking at her. And yeah, she was speaking. Actually, I have to confess, I don't remember a lot of it, of what she was speaking, because I was so concentrated on just looking at her and just taking the moment in. Especially, if I mean, I believe that she is the true mother, but just realizing that she is the, you know like, you, as you would take Jesus, so she's the, like, the mother or the woman representative of what Jesus was, the only begotten daughter of God. Like, we call Jesus the only begotten son, so she's the only begotten daughter, and now I have this time to spend with her and look at her. So I was just taking that moment in. And yeah, but one thing that did stood out to me from what she was saying is that she was talking about that people need to unite with her, and people need to unite with her in order to restore the world. That the world has to be restored through her. And as she was saying this, I had this thought that just as in childbirth, the man, he gives the seed first. He is the one that, gives the seed, and then the mother is the one that births the child. And very similar thing happened, in our movement. The true father, as we call him, the Chanyang, he was the one that started the movement. He was the one that gave, like, this foundation for the movement. And after that, he gave the seed. And it would quite make sense if true mother is the one that, gives birth to the new world after this seed was, implanted. So yeah, and also in the Bible, also quite similar. We have, before the fall, we would have God was called God. So basically, like, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, blah blah blah. But after the fall, after Adam and Eve, like, ate the apple, we had Heavenly Father, wasn't God. I mean, maybe God was still mentioned, but he was also he was being called Heavenly Father after that. So also the providence in the Bible also started from, like, the male side, the father side. And but it wouldn't make sense that it would be only father, because as we know from the Bible, male and female were both created in the image of God. That means God has both the characteristics of male and characteristics of female. He's both a father and a mother. But the mother was silenced basically throughout all the history. But after that, I thought maybe that was on purpose, because the mother's role was at the end of the providence, when the basically the new world has to be born. That is when the mother comes in, and that is when the mother is active, and where she gives birth to this new world. So that was my thoughts after what she said. And it, at least for me, it made a lot of sense. And as I was thinking those thoughts, and even throughout the whole speech, because I was, like, in the center row, I would often, see that my head was tilted like this, and Shumadar's head was also tilted a bit, to the side that my head is tilted, basically. And we would often, at least I would feel that her head is directly, like, pointed at me. And it felt like, a lot of times, it felt like she was speaking directly to me. And because she speaks really slowly, sometimes she would do, like, these long pauses where she would just look for 10 seconds. She would look, at least it felt for me like she would look directly at me. And those were just very cool moments, especially, when you think of her as true mother, then it really becomes special, at least to me. So yeah. After that, she gave the speech. Then she invited her granddaughter to sing for us. Then we sang for her. I was so happy. It was basically, usually when I sing, it's hard for me to smile. But at that moment, I couldn't stop smiling. I was just always smiling, and I just felt like my spirit is completely full and I don't need anything else. So yeah, then after that, she thanked us, and then she left. Then burgers came in. She basically bought burgers for every one of us, 120 people. So we got burgers, we ate the burgers, and then a person came in and said, okay, True Mother is waiting for you to take a photo. Before, I didn't know if we were going to take a photo or not, but then he came. I was very happy, because it felt like it ended on a weird spot. We didn't fully conclude everything. So then I was very happy we could take the photo. I rushed to the area where we would take the photo with the other Lithuanian guy. We were there first, and then we stood like in the first row. Then people started coming in. I started letting people ahead of me. Then I realized that okay, now I'm not that close anymore. But my conscience didn't let me, send people. Okay, I was here first. Go back, because I just met you. I'm just met your mother's, and it didn't feel right to push people, behind me. So I just let people in front of me and so on. So yeah, we took the picture. Then she stood up. She started going away. We clapped. I started like screaming like woo loudly, louder than this, but I just don't want to burn your ears now. So I would start shouting. Then maybe it's like six other boys joined in, and they said that Chumother, like, I didn't saw it because while I was screaming I was looking up, but other people saw that Chumother like surprisingly was surprised and looked back. And the other like elder people, the Koreans there and the organizers, they were like, quiet down, quiet down. I didn't saw it, so I just continued to scream and clap. And then she went away, and then a person came and said, she's waiting for another applause. So basically, it's not that she didn't like it, she actually liked it. So then we started even louder, started clapping loudly and screaming. Just a fun experience. And yeah, and concluded like that. Now it felt like a good conclusion. We went back, and yeah, after that, to me at least, it felt like everything was done, and the workshop is now best experience of my life. Now I don't even need anything more. But we still had a couple more days left, and in those days we had Chufather Songwa, basically the 11th year anniversary of his ascendance into the spirit world. And yeah, we had that. I would also got good prayers out of that, connected to Father too within that workshop. But actually throughout the whole workshop, when I would pray, my most emotional prayers would be about Mother. I mean, I was crying in a way that I didn't cry at any point in my life. I didn't cry like that, where my nose was fully full, I couldn't breathe, tears were just flowing uncontrollably, and that was only when I was praying to True Mother. I know I could, throughout that pilgrimage or that workshop, really developed a strong connection to her. Yeah, and then Great Work started. A lot of people came there, maybe like 6,000 or 7,000 people came there. Maybe I'll just show a couple of pictures that show a bit of how many people were there. I don't have a picture of everyone there, but yeah, Great Work started, and the clouds there. I'll put up the picture again, hopefully, if I'm able enough to edit that good. I'll put up a picture. So basically the clouds were very beautiful, and you would see like these clouds that appeared like birds or like phoenixes. Actually, I talked to my friend today, and he said phoenixes are like a symbol of rebirth. So that's quite interesting, because within the Great Works we would have ancestor liberation, blessings, basically like revivals almost of spirits and so on. Not exactly, but at least the ancestor liberation is kind of like that, like bringing from hell to heaven, to kingdom of heaven. So it's like a revival, basically. Yeah. And yeah, so I would see these like beautiful clouds. I'll put up again the pictures. And and after that we had the last vigil prayer there. Actually, I don't remember if it was last vigil prayer or just last vigil prayer of the the Great Works. And I just decided that I want to sit closer. Basically, I just went to the front of the vigil prayer, where the main people would sit around, the ones that were organizing it. I went very close. I had again a very strong vigil prayer, and then I went outside. I saw the moon. I took a couple pictures of the moon, because I don't know exactly why. I just thought, the moon looks cool. And it wasn't full moon or anything. It was just almost full moon, but not fully full moon, I think. So I just took a couple pictures. Then I went to the prayer room. I prayed, and again I had a very deep prayer about your parents and so on. And I went back outside. I looked at the moon again, and I decided I'll take a couple more pictures. Then I took a couple more pictures. And yeah, that is the picture you saw on Instagram. I'll put it up again here. You will now see it probably, hopefully. And as you can see, there's like this woman figure within that cloud, and there's the moon in the middle, like in the middle of her heart, and it's like a praying woman. If I would show you, it's like wait, I need to zoom out maybe. It's like this, and you can see move too close. You could see like there's a bun of hair, so it looks like a woman basically. And so the backstory of this is, as you know, the leader of our church, the songwa of the person that I was talking about, the one that died, his name was Chanyang Moon, and we would always, because his last name was Moon, like the moon, we would always correlate him to the moon, to the actual moon. And yeah, so as you can see, there's the moon there, and then there's like a woman figure, which for me represents a true mother that is praying, and that they are fully like united with one another. She is the moon is inside her heart, and they're like connected, united as one. And also you could look at as I had the analogy before, that true father gave the seed and true mother gives the birth. So there's true mother praying, and there's the seed in her. Many analogies we can think of, but just very cool, to see that. But when I was taking the photo, I didn't realize it. I was just taking photo of the moon. At least that's what I thought. And then a couple minutes later, as I was going up the stairs to go to sleep, I looked at the photos again, and then I realized that, whoa, this looks like a woman praying, and a moon inside her. So very cool. Yeah, man. Oh, that's already 47 minutes. Damn. Yeah, so damn, this was quite long. Yeah, and after that, the workshop concluded. Again, very good workshop. Throughout all of those days, very good and deep prayers. Almost the last week was just, I was on the clouds. Every time I would pray, I would start crying, and I could just feel the Spirit really intensely. And yeah, just had a very, very good experience. And it was quite sad to go back home, not gonna lie. I really wanted to stay there for longer, but yeah, I didn't really have a choice. I need to go back. So yeah, and I went back, came back home, and that's that. So hopefully you could enjoy and maybe learn something from these stories, or maybe it was just like some fun story. I don't know how many people actually look for this whole video, because it's gonna be quite long. And yeah, hopefully I'll be, because like in the middle of me recording it stopped recording for some reason. Now this is the second part. Hopefully I will be able to somehow match them together, and hopefully the first part didn't delete itself. Yeah, so thank you guys for listening, and I don't know if I'm gonna upload anything else here, but yeah, peace out.